Hi, we're going to have an introduction to dashboard design in this unit. As you can see, this presentation was actually developed by a professor at UCC Munich, but we're going to borrow it for our course. The agenda has three components. First, we have an introduction. Then we'll talk about SAP Business Objects, dashboard design, to have an overview of this product. And three, we will talk about how to create the first dashboard. Okay, first, what is a dashboard? Stephen Few, who is a guru in this area, gave a definition in his 2004 book. As you can see, it's a visual display of most important information consolidated and arranged on a single screen so that information can be monitored at a glance. I think the name dashboard very aptly describes the purpose of these kind of applications. Okay, just like when you are driving a car, you keep an eye on the instruments on your dashboard. Okay, so they are important gadgets that you keep track of while you are driving your car. So similarly, when people running companies on a daily basis, they need to keep track of some important information all the times, and therefore that's the need for dashboard applications for managers and executives and so on. Before the advent of dashboard applications, most business data or information is kept in some kind of spreadsheets. So we have an example of spreadsheet here that contains some business data which may not be very easy to decipher. Okay, but if you look at the next slide of a dashboard, okay, the dashboard represents exactly the same information as in the spreadsheet. Okay, so you probably agree that dashboard is much more informative. That allows a business manager to keep track of the performance of the company. Okay. So actually, there are all kinds of dashboards nowadays. You have, for instance, daily executive reports, standard income statement. So different dashboards can be designed for different business users at different levels, in different areas, and so on. Okay, not just executives anymore. And on a dashboard, we can have all kinds of components, or shown as display media here. Okay, again, these are adapted from Stephen Few's book, 2006 book. So we can use graphs, images, icons, drawing objects, text, as well as organizers. Okay. And also, dashboards have evolved over time, and now we can say that they are in the third generation. Compared to previous generations, for instance, the display is more complicated. Nowadays, we have, in addition to graphs and tables of data, we also have like scorecards, strategy maps, and also in terms of function, there's additional functions available in the third generation dashboards. Another way to look at different types of dashboards is, I guess, follow the organizational levels. This again is adapted from the book by Few, 2006. Basically, if we consider a company with three different levels, at the top level you have senior managers who are concerned by strategies. So we have strategic dashboards. Then in the middle level, you have middle level managers as well as analysts who are more concerned with the monitoring control operations. Okay, so we have analytical dashboards. Finally, at the lower level, you have lower level managers or supervisors who want to monitor the daily operations. So you have operational dashboards. Okay. Then another well-known researcher, Ackerson, according to him, dashboards can be distinguished from other types of applications such as OLAP, operational reports, data warehouse queries, and so on. Okay, according to him, dashboards are used mainly by the top levels, okay, executives, senior managers, to keep track of strategic performance of a company, okay, key performance metrics. So dashboards, along with scorecards, portals, are used by top levels. Okay, whereas OLAP, interactive reports, are used mainly by middle level managers. And finally, at the bottom level, you have operational reports, data warehouse queries. Okay, so that's Ackerson's classification. But I think nowadays dashboards are widely used, beyond just the senior level managers. And also, again, dashboards are different from other applications such as portals. So the difference between them is noted on this slide here. And also, dashboard is related, but not exactly the same as a scorecard. Okay, and a scorecard actually is a specific dashboard, okay, including the key performance indicators used on a strategic level. Okay, so we can say that scorecards are dashboards used by senior level managers, whereas you have other types of dashboards used by different levels of personnel. Next, the slide shows a little bit about the SAP Business Objects BI platform. Okay, so in the middle of the diagram, it shows the BI platform from SAP Business Objects, and one of the components of the platform is dashboards and visualization. Okay, so that's the tool that we'll be talking about in this unit, and through this tool we can provide some kind of a dashboard reports using different front-end tools such as Enterprise Portal, Microsoft Office applications such as PowerPoint, and also other applications such as web browsers. Okay, in other words, dashboards, after they are created, they can be distributed and accessed by users using a variety of applications, including Microsoft Office products, web browsers, PDF files, and so on. Okay.